Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's Saturday and we are going to present what we promised. This is Angel, a lot of you know him. And Angel has graciously agreed to answer your questions. So last weekend I dropped a video and said to you guys, drop your questions, let's see if we can stump Angel, right? So as you know, he is the house buying go-to guy in Merida. And if you have a question, you put it here. And if you have follow-up questions, we'll tell you how we can set it up so you can consult with Angel. So Angel, before we start, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Yes, well, nice to meet you all and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My name is Angel. Probably some of you have seen me already in one of other people's videos. I am a Mexican. I was born in Mexico. I used to live in the United States most of my life. Then I decided to move back here for the same reason that most of us are moving down to Mexico. I bought my house, I would say, within, when I got here on, I think that was November 25th, I think, November 25th, and I was buying my house by December 5th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were quick too, you knew what you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I said
Angel
when you
had
bought
a
yours.
plan. Angel had a plan because he wanted to set up a lifestyle that he could sustain.
Very true.
Okay, so folks, I'm going to be glancing away from time to time because I'm looking at a list of questions. We want to get you guys all in. And so I'm going to jump into it. We'll go until we run out of questions. Okay, so Angel, the first question is a really big one. It says, it's a two-part question. How do you buy a house? And do I need to be a permanent or a citizen? And can I get a mortgage?
The first question, let's go step one by one.
Okay.
The first question is, how do you buy a house?
Yes, yeah.
There is a process that you have to follow. I will probably explain it a little later in the video because it's a very extensive subject. But yeah, you sure can buy a house, and there is a process to it. It could be difficult if you don't know the language, if you don't know the process, but it's doable and it's not impossible. That's the first question. The second question is,
do I need to be a permanent resident or a citizen?
Short answer is no. Now, the Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution, you can look it up, is Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution, states clearly that no foreigner can own a land directly within 100 kilometers of the border or 50 kilometers to the coast. That's clear state, that's per Constitution. So you have to, again, follow the process to be able to accomplish. You can buy? Yes, you can. Do you need to be a citizen or a resident? No, you don't. That's why a lot of foreigners own houses in Puerto Vallarta or Cancun, because anybody, national or foreigner, can buy a house in Mexico or any property.
And the third part of this question is, can I get a mortgage?
Very hard, almost impossible. Even for Mexicans, even for us, it's very hard. I'm not out. See, number one, if you are Mexican, it's very hard unless you have a very, very good job with a very, very thick bank account. Now as a foreigner, it's even harder because you're gonna have to go through a fideicomiso, and the lender don't want to be involved because now he's saying okay, he's not just lending you the money to buy something that you're gonna have to throw it in a trust. It's a little complicated. So I would say it has to be either cash or catch.
And folks, I am learning that because I'm in the process. Cash or cash. So start living frugally, make a plan, and you'll be able to do it when your turn comes. Okay, so we're going on to the next question, which I've never heard this one before. It says, when buying land as a temp resident / immigrant, how do we tell if the land has a cenote under or near it?
Okay, if you find a way to find if you have a cenote, let me know. Because even for us that live here, people that are born in Yucatan or Quintana Roo, that's where mainly the cenotes are at. There is no way really unless you dig and find it.
Yes.
Actually, there is they estimate there is over 6,000 cenotes.
Right.
Here in the peninsula. and we only have maybe 1,500 that we know of.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Remember how the cenotes were formed? On the river was put when the meteorite fell. It pushed the water underground, so it creates in some places caves were created.
Yes.
Where those caves were created, that's there is not really a way you can say now how there is a georadar. But who can afford one? I never seen one myself, but I know there is a thing that you can kind of like buy it, but it costs thousands of thousands. You might as well just buy the cenote.
Which is impossible, I'm told. You can't buy a cenote.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
You can see a laws, a constitution saying that anything you say, well, you own the land, yes, but there is a trick. Our constitution says that you own whatever is above the land.
Wow, yeah.
Not underground the land.
So if you find the lost gold of South America here in Mexico, it's not yours.
No, because see, you own the house.
Yeah.
Why? Because the house is located on the surface.
Yes.
Right? Now, if you go deep in that, that's why when you're going to dig a well, you need a permit.
Yes.
Because you're tapping in the nation property
Yes.
when you dig in a well. So that's why.
Okay. So folks, unless you're able to do a geographical survey, you're not going to know. That's just how this area is. Okay, so let's move on to the second part of that question. How do we protect ourselves when buying land to build a house and have water, well, irrigation for a garden?
How do you
protect yourself when buying land?
Well, when you buy the land, you can go to what we call catastro, which is the office of let's say the land. You know, every township or every city has an ayuntamiento. Okay, part of the ayuntamiento is a thing we call catastro. Catastro means is where you pay your taxes for your land. The one that say how many subdivision there is in your neighborhood, who owns it. Mm-hmm. Then you can find out if the property is who owns the property, if he owes money to anybody, and you have to be very, very careful. I highly recommend for you to hire somebody.
Right.
Somebody. Yeah. Why? Mm-hmm. And this happened not too long ago. I had a person that was referred to me. Poor lady got a house. Okay, a neighbor sold her the land. Well, sold her the land, and then the neighbor built also a house for her. But she was questioning why she never paid taxes, which when she told me, I was like, you don't pay taxes. Even the president paid taxes. So I went and found out, after doing a little research and talking to a couple of people, I found out that the house is called Fundo Legal, which is whole different ball game. It's like you have the right to use it, but it's not yours.
Right.
So when buying the land, do your research or hire somebody that do the research for you.
Right.
Because you can buy a house in a protected zone, which means you own it, but you cannot modify it. What I mean by that is you cannot build, you can do nothing. It's like you might as well just own a piece of the moon, because it's gonna be as good as the land that you have.
Yeah. You bought yourself a nature park. Folks,
exactly.
That you can't even walk through.
Exactly. You can go, you can look at it. I don't know, see the animals if you have any. Walking by, but like it's a protected land. Then you have the Ejido land. The Ejido lands is like a group of farms. The countries in Mexico, in this case, the state gave these farmers land. And they own as a commune, right? So being owned by the commune, it means like you can go and say, I want to have a piece of land, and they let you use it, but you cannot make decisions of that land. Only all the commune approve it, and if you sell it, the commune, the ejidatarios, which is the group of farmers, have to sign saying yes, we want in this case Heather to not to own but to manage. So like I said, Fundo Legal is something you go and you ask the ayuntamiento, they're gonna have this piece of land, and they say, yeah, what are you gonna do with it? Well, I'm gonna plant coconuts. If they agree, they're gonna say, okay, sign this book. It's just a book, no notary, nothing involved, just a book saying that you're gonna be using that land. And you can build probably, but remember, you will never see your name on the title, and at the time to sell, you're gonna have an issue. Because you're going to have to explain to the new buyer how come he's going to give you this big bunch of money, but you got no papers to prove it's his.
Right.
So it's like, hey, give me a, I don't know, I'm gonna sell you a flying car. What is the car? Well, I don't have it, but it's somewhere. So you got to be careful when you buy the land. A lot of foreigners go on Facebook or even Craigslist, whatever, and they see, oh, look how cheap, $50,000 by the beach, right? And they're really $50,000 for the beach. We're talking about what? 1.2, not even 900,000 Mexican pesos. The house where we live right now, what you're looking at me at, my house is 5,000 square meter. I'm sorry, 500 square meter, and it cost me almost only $50,000.
A couple of years ago, folks.
Okay,
It's gone
that
up.
was a couple of years. Now imagine how you're gonna tell me that you're gonna buy, like this guy come and go. Well, I'm in the process of purchasing a 20 acres for $100,000. 20 acres. So you know what? Look, if you sell me 5 acres, I will give you $50,000. I'll give the 15 for you because I know it's impossible. Unless if it's a protected land, yeah, you can buy in a protected land, but you won't be able to do anything with it.
What you're basically doing is donating your money to somebody.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Okay. So I think part of this question, it seems like they wanted to know, okay, can you have water, your own water, possibly a well, so you can have your irrigation and so on?
Yes.
Yeah.
As an example, in my house, we are, I believe in self-sufficiency.
Yes.
Okay. I believe that I have to be able to survive without having the help from the outside. And what I mean by that is electricity, water, gas, whatever it is. Okay. So Yucatan, and I can speak for Yucatan and Quintana Roo too. We are sitting on water. You dig a few meters down and you're gonna find water, right? Now you need a permit, but it's easy to get because the builder itself will do it for you. You don't have to worry about that. They will go get the permit and you can dig a well. Actually, that's one of the first things they look when they build the houses. They dig a well because they need the water so they can do their thing, whatever they're doing in the construction, right? So the only thing you need to do is just get a permit, which you will be given to you within probably hours. Dig, find the well, find the water, put a pump, and pump it up.
Right.
And in my house, in this case, I have all my water is from the cenotes. That's all it is, cenotes, the river, underground rivers. So my pool is with water. My grass is with water. Even the water I take a bath is that water. And even with what I drink is that water. But I will touch that drinking part of it later on in the video.
Yeah. He just added a wonderful thing to his house. And so I'm following him because I want to, as much as possible, protect myself from inflation. So the first thing that's going into, the builder is building the house. And then an angel has been taking care of me like he's buying himself the second house. And then the solar panels and all that other stuff. And I have a well, I think.
You do have a well.
So I'm not going to pay for water for my pool. Solar panels are going in first thing before I even move in because it takes about 2.5 months, right?
Yeah, at the very most.
Yeah.
2.5.
We're going to come back to that because someone asked a question, but I'm following Angel's idea because the thought of having everything in place in your retirement is it's awesome. It is the American dream, but you find it here in Mexico.
Yeah, and you're also right. I'm very proud of what you're doing because it's a smart thing to do. I always say live today like you couldn't afford it because tomorrow you might not be able to afford
Exactly.
it. And if you're gonna pay, I don't know, my first electricity bill was 8,000 pesos, and I was like, wow, that's like $500. I got way better things to do in Yucatan with $10, let alone $500. So later on we're gonna touch on that. But yeah, you got to try to be self-sufficient. After all, you guys are moving to Mexico to live the Mexican dream.
Right.
And just get the proper steps now, And then later just do like I do. When she calls me, I'm either on the pool or I'm at the beach or I'm just laying on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
It will come to that time.
Yeah. If Angel doesn't answer WhatsApp right away, I know he's in his pool because
True.
he's a water baby. Oh my gosh. But that's another story, folks. When you meet him, you will learn about this man. Okay. So the next question. What tips do you have for us if we want to purchase a new build? And there are a couple other parts to it, but that's the first thing. If we want to purchase a new build, which you did and which I'm doing.
How do you protect yourself? Is that the question?
No, it's
What tips? Okay.
Yeah, what tips can
When
you
buying
offer?
a new house, look, all the houses by law in Mexico, you have a year warranty. By law. There is no way around it. And it's like what we call full coverage. From A to Z. Whatever is going to happen within that year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Just
really-
like in the States, actually.
Exactly. You know, like, see, in Mexico, you got to remember, houses here, when they build, they tend to crack.
Oh, yeah, because the land is moving.
The land is moving until
That
it
makes
comes to a
sense.
point that it sits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I used to tell a friend of mine, I live in a house of Chucky. I got so many cracks here. Look like Chucky, the cartoon thing, the movie guy. And I'm like, but you know what? Now stop. Like, you know, it's been a while, stop. Because the land sat where it's supposed to be.
Right.
So now, no more cracks in the wall. But only a tip to protect when buying the house is just make sure that you know what you want before you start looking.
I've heard that 100 times, folks, and he means it.
And exactly, you got to remember whoever you hire, whether it's me, John, Peter, Mickey Mouse, whoever, you're hiring a person to help you to look for what you want and to accomplish what you already know you want. You're not hiring us, or you're not getting a help from a friend to think for you, or to want or to get something for you and decide for you. You tell me I want. Well, it's like when you go buy a lemonade. You say lemonade. You don't say give me a glass of whatever, right? So I said that there is, since the house comes with the warranty, everybody has their own specific needs. Like, for example, 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom. This is my biggest tip. Plan accordingly. Talk to your family or talk to yourself or meditate or have a plan a vision of what you want.
Right.
Okay, now, a couple of things I would be looking for is like, for example, can I have my well? Because in Merida city, in the city itself, you cannot dig. Okay, you cannot just go to Merida and dig a hole.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can do that in most cities in the States either.
So since we live in the outskirts,
Uh-huh.
this area even Concal, they call it the diamond zone. Okay, why? Because the prices are increasing so rapidly.
Yeah.
And so many people want to move here. Why? Because in Merida, you have the advantage of the location. But here you got the space, you have freedom to pretty much do whatever you want to do. And what I mean by that is play your music, buy your friends, watch your car in the driveway. I don't know, paint your house black with a pirate flag if you want to.
Or Pepto-Bismol.
Or Pepto-Bismol pink. And this freedom, that's what, and so many people moving here. Remember, we are 7 minutes to La Isla. One of the most expensive, but the nicest places we have more-wise.
Really nice, authentic Japanese restaurant. Yeah.
And we have, 7 minutes to El Faro, one of the nicest hospitals we have.
Yes.
So we are 15 minutes to the beach.
Yes.
So we are somewhere, we are 10 minutes to the city center, but then we have 15 minutes to the beach. We are in the middle. That's why many people moving to the north. You can buy a house that's something you got to be careful also where you buying. Location, it's very important. Because if you buy in the south, you're gonna get, a big house for probably half a price. But you got to remember, to go to the beach, it would be a road trip. Because it's on the way south and there is traffic.
Yes.
Your house will increase value. You won't get as much equity as you get it right here.
Right.
The house you bought, you hold a month ago, 2 months, like a month ago, right?
5 months.
Yeah. The house already probably, by now, another $10,000-$15,000 on top.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to keep in mind that in May, every May, houses are everything increasing in Mexico 10%.
Yes, yes.
Especially houses.
Remember that, folks. Every year things go up 10%.
Because you might say, well, I'm gonna wait, and my house will increase in value in the United States. That's sure, yes, but increase down here too. So whatever you make in there, you're gonna be paying it here.
Yeah, yeah.
And proof of that is I bought this house 2 years ago. Dollar-wise, so you guys have an idea, I pay around 160. Today is 245. Right. Well, actually, 5 million pesos. How much? Yeah, like 245.
Don't ask me to do any kind
Yeah,
of
it's like 245. So we're talking about like 80,000 pesos in 2 years.
Yeah.
$80,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, because behind my house is just a house just like mine. Same builder, same truck, same
I'm
everything.
looking at it now.
And it went for 5 million when I paid 3.3.
Yes.
Which is like 165 and he paid 240.
Yes.
250.
Yes.
Right?
It's changing and it's not going down.
It's not going down. Mexico
No.
doesn't have the history of properties in Mexico. Is either they go slower up because the market is shaky, but they never go down, or they will go like way up, like it's going right now. And what is happening is many people are moving here.
Exactly.
Safety. We, honestly, when I came here, I was surprised. I was expecting. It's a city, Mexican city, with guys and horses, and I don't know. I was like,
There's some folks with horses. Don't
but we live in the outskirts. That's a good thing about here.
Yeah,
You want to have a horse, you can buy a house and own a horse. Things that you cannot do in Merida. And I'm not putting Merida back in the downside. What I'm saying is, you got to decide what your priorities. Do you want a space, or do you want to be walking distance to everything?
Yes, yes.
Do you wanna like, for example, I want a pool. I want a big pool. There is no way I could have a big pool in Merida.
And he's got a big pool.
And there is no way I could have it in Merida. Why? Because Merida dates from the 1500s. Back then, they didn't have no cars, so there is no car garages. They didn't have a pool. There is no pool. Cowboys. I didn't see any movie of have your cowboy swimming in the pool. There was no pool back then, right? So I want this. I decide between space and location. But if you have a car, who cares to drive 10 minutes away to get to the center, the city center, and then have all you can enjoy by being in the outskirts. Right. But that's a tip. Know what you want, know where you want it, how soon you want it, because it's a one-time purchase. That's it. That's what I was telling my sister Heather here. It's a one-time purchase. Take your time. We're not in a rush. Because it's a one-time thing.
Exactly, exactly. And, your priorities are your priorities. If you want to be within walking distance, everything, that's fine. You can be, closer to the center. I can't breathe in Merida. But where I'm going to be, I can get there quickly enough for the resources.
10 minutes.
But then I come back to a spot that I can breathe. And by the way, folks, he forgot to tell you the most important thing. It is location, location, location. But for me, I also need neighbors with mango trees and coconut palms. So I can...
That was the thing that you were asking. I need my plants. I need my plants.
Yeah, so I can look really desperate and get free fruit and free cuttings. So okay, yeah. I'm serious. My older sister does the same thing. So
well, now you got a house that you can plant pretty much anything. You will have your mango tree pretty soon.
That's right. There will be a mango tree in my front yard, and I'm stealing the plants from his yard. But okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is real. The next part, it's the same question. But a lot of people are afraid of builders. We run into so many, people who cut corners and they have tricks. And then a lot of people hear that Mexico's even worse. So the next part of this question is, what do you have to watch out for from a builder?
Well, number one is reputation. I think that will apply like in the United States. You don't have to do your research. Okay, now, when you're saying about building, we're talking about buying a lot and then hiring somebody to build. That's what I'm assuming you do. You mentioned it.
There's a part about developers next, so maybe builders and let's talk about developers, because builders are much more straightforward. But developers, those people who go and they buy houses that aren't there yet.
Yeah, buy the lots and the build.
Right.
But the thing to watch out when he said builder, right? What was the question?
What to watch. So here's the whole question again, and that's why I'm not quite clear. So we're trying to get there. It says, what tips do you have if we want to purchase a new build? And the second part is what to watch out for. and what are the developer tricks we should avoid? So I'm not sure.
Well, I think that we already said the first one, what tips, saying about location and what you want. And but the second question was what to watch out for.
Yeah.
Really, look, there is, if you're talking about like you want to buy a house that is already been built, there is really nothing you can do but look at the house. I mean, see, the house in Merida made out of block. And what we're saying is like in the United States, my house was made, I don't even know what, stucco or whatever
Cardboard.
it is. Cardboard, right? That's what they fire. You get a fire and they burn in seconds the entire neighborhood.
Right.
Here is block and concrete. And, I haven't seen many concrete and block houses flying out in a hurricane or a tornado. Tornado can come and I would laugh at the tornado. Or, there is not really anything you got to watch for in a new building. Now, if you're going to buy the land and then you're going to build.
Like a developer.
A developer, but then you got developer with reputation. You're going to find one that is already being built several houses. Okay? I don't know, you haven't been here for that long, but like, I never hear in Merida building falling down. Or like,
No.
right? Or like, this guy built a house and it's already leaking on the roof. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is very rare.
Yeah.
Remember, builders live by the reputation. Okay? So I don't think there is anything I can really tell you, like, look when you're buying a new build, besides what the tips I gave you. But like, okay, anything like, maybe they use the wrong material. Not really.
Okay.
Now, if you wanna have a new build done, then come or hire somebody here to do a video for you. And I have a person that I go once a week and make a video of what they're doing. Okay, and they send me the question, find out how deep the septic tank is. Okay, I go find it out. I go to measure, okay, it's this much. It's this big or whatever. But if you want to do that, come by yourself and supervise it or have videos, right? There is really nothing you got to look and watch out from the builder.
You know what, this makes me think, because when he says developers, I do notice, not just in Mexico, but a number of countries where a developer, they put up that big fancy wall in front of the privada, and then it's deserted land. It looks like it was deserted 10 years ago. So if you bought a piece of land and a developer was going to develop it, and they don't.
Okay, but see, that's what, when you buy the land, when you buy it from a developer, you got two choices, okay? What the developer is saying, look, you buy the lot and I'm gonna build the house and the house for you with these the dimensions or whatever, and then it's gonna be written in front of a notary. And he promised that that's what he's gonna do. And if he doesn't, there is penalties involved, and that it will be punishing for him. However, there is some people that the developer buy a big lot, right? 20 acres. He developed in sections. Okay, he developed in sections. Okay, each of them is gonna have 500 square meters. Okay, and you're gonna buy one lot. If you don't want to build in that lot, you don't have to. That lot is yours. It could be there 100 years from now. They cannot force you to build. What the developer does is, okay, when I mean you buy from a developer, he's gonna give you a paved street in front of your lot, electricity, okay, a pole with electricity running right in front of your lot. That's what he's guaranteeing. Okay, it's ready for you to build.
Yes.
You don't have to go to the city and say, give me electricity or pay my street. That's what he developed.
Okay.
That's what it is. But watching for him is like, now again, do your research, make sure the lot is saying it is private property, no ejido, no fondo legal, which we mentioned that, and do your research.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's just go to Catastro, give them the address, and they will give you the whole information.
Folks, it's not easy unless you're someone like him. So I'm telling you, really, really consider hiring someone. It's part of the investment of getting a house here, to get it done right. And by the way, he mentioned notary, being in front of a notary. They are, if I'm not wrong, more powerful than most lawyers, right?
Yep. Look, the job of a notary in Mexico, whether you put the notary or they do put the notary, the seller, his job is to do the research for you. Now, he's gonna because he's putting his name on the line now, and he could be his license taken away. He could be fined for it. So he's gonna make sure the land is what it is. It's free and clear. Because the notary is gonna ask the guy, hey, I want CFE, which is electricity, zero balance. I want the water, if there is any bill, zero balance. I mean, he's gonna make sure because that's what he's signing. Hey, I did the research. It's like a tile search, a tile company. That's what it is. That's a notary, a tile company.
Yes, yes. And you wouldn't buy a house in the States, or at least I hope you wouldn't buy a house in the States without a title search.
Exactly.
Because somebody's going to show up 10 years down the line saying, hey, that's my house. That's my land. You weren't allowed to build here.
Exactly.
So, okay.
So yeah, and like I said, now like you said, whoever you hire somebody. Why? Because the language could be a very huge problem when doing with legal, not with living here, but when you're doing with legal matters.
Right,
the documents are in Spanish. There will be no bilingual. You cannot, or you're gonna have to be paying a lot of money for a professional translator. Not anybody now, but a professional translator.
Yes.
To do it.
Yes.
To translate every document for you, and it's a lot of documents.
Right.
Right. Like we were talking once, they can show you a letter, a paper. You can read it, you agree to it, but what they're gonna sign 3 days from now might not be the same thing. But they might add something to it. So you want somebody there.
Yes.
To speak for you and fight for you. and say, you know what?
Really?
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do this. We want to wait.
Yes.
And you can, at least you have somebody, but somebody that actually is there for you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Not somebody that is playing games. No.
Yeah.
It's there for you because his reputation is on the line and because he cares. Forget about the reputation. He cares about you. Okay? And that's what I always tell you. When we went to get your house, you see how they got a translator there.
Oh, yeah, but I listened to him because a translator is hired by the builder. They're not there for me. They're there to give me as little as possible. And Angel will be with. He speaks 500 miles an hour when he's negotiating. He only speaks about 150 normally. So you really need to have someone there who understands the language and can, say, hey, that doesn't sound right. Explain that again. And then he explained it to me. So I'm probably going to repeat this 1,000 times in this thing because I think it is so important to hire a professional when you're going to put your money on the line.
Guys, you don't want to go to let's say a jury trial and counting on the other person's attorney to represent you.
That's right.
He's gonna be watching for his interest.
That's
He's gonna make it look like when I negotiate for you, I fight the teeth, and I do whatever trick I have to do to accomplish it. So far, we had accomplished a lot with them.
Folks, there have been times where I'm like, okay, that's okay. He goes, no, and he never says no once. He says, no. I'm still working on it. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, because that's what look. It's the only thing that you don't negotiate in Mexico, like I told you, is the price of the house or the property
of a new build. You can negotiate on a pre.
Yeah, because you buy from like me. If I want to sell you my house, we can go back and forth. But when you buy a new build, the price is the price. Okay. Now you can negotiate new things, items that you want to be added to it, but you don't negotiate. The price you can ask, but it won't really be. I don't see being easily successful.
Right. Okay, let's move on. I think you already answered the next one. You said, how does a buyer guarantee that the builder does everything to spec? I think you kind of already answered that. Reputation.
There is not really many specs in Mexico, to be honest. It's just a drawing. They follow the drawing, and of course, you have to, because it's not like in the United States. You don't want to have an inspector coming here. When they don't, okay, there will be no inspector that won't put a stick on the tag on your window saying house has been approved by the county or this house meets the spec of the state.
Yeah.
No, but again, I don't really hear anybody. Well, how do you? What specs do you follow to make to put the window in? We don't really have that problem. In the United States, one of the issues we have in the United States is the many rules and regulations, and sometimes they're good. But sometimes they go to the extreme.
Yeah.
Okay, and the customers or buyers end up paying for all these new things that need to be updated in a house to bring it up to code. You know what I mean? When the house has been there for 100 years, working just wonderfully.
Yeah, and I will tell you, folks, I've owned a number of houses in the States, and the people who are licensed inspectors don't always do their part. We actually found that out a few times because when we were buying the last house, my ex and I, there was an inspector and the house got checked off, but we hired, because we were building it, we hired our own inspector. And he went up into the roof and he found they'd cut into this main beam, the huge beam. And they were going to hide it. If he hadn't found that, we would not have been able to sell that house until that beam was changed. And we're talking thousands of dollars because it's holding up like the structure, the roof, you know. So yeah.
But you got to remember here that here in Mexico, since they have a year warranty, they don't want to have. If you find a problem in your house, on the the 9 month into it, they're liable for life. They got to fix that thing every time you break for the same reason.
So that leads us to the next part. This person wants to know, how is the warranty enforced?
By law. It's just like in the United States, by law. I mean, look, we have Profeco, which is a federal agency that protects consumers. Mm-hmm. Okay, actually that's the letter, Profeco. And you can complain to them, and they will enforce.
Okay.
Because the business can be closed, they can be fined. I mean, they can come for them to give you back all your money in its entirety. Nobody's gonna do that. You know, most of the builders, they're gonna correct the problem within a week.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to. It's a law, and if in 10 years from now, the same problem that you say was a problem, in the day one, it's gonna, if for the same reason, it's gonna have 10 years, it's gonna still be there.
Yeah.
You're gonna still replace it. Now, it's for 1 year for full coverage, mm-hmm. but then it's like a 5 year for a structural, mm-hmm. and like 20 years. So I mean, it's a different layers of protection.
Right.
So you don't really have to worry about like how they're gonna enforce. The only thing you got to do is just call a lawyer or call Profeco. You don't even have to pay for a lawyer. There is an office in downtown. In every city you have one. You go there. File it. I'm gonna just make a long story short. I had a problem with Amazon. They say they delivered a package, but they never did, and I was home. So they didn't want to give me back the money. I went to Profeco. I was like fighting with them for like 15 days. I went to Profeco within 72 hours. My money was in my account. 72 hours. I don't know what Profeco did. 72 hours. The money was in my account.
Right. So although it's different than in the U.S., there are laws here, and there are ways to enforce it. Because the same person asking about enforcement, they said, so as far as building to spec, the things like the septic tanks, the filters, and the stuff that's underground. Because they said the average homeowner is not an engineer or a lawyer.
And that's true. That's true. Yeah. When you buy the house, you know you're gonna have the septic tank is there. It's not like you're gonna open and see. It's just a septic tank.
Just like in the States.
You know, you don't see what's going on now. They have a biodigester. It's a system. They have different things they can do it to, but that's up to you, and if you want to pay for it. So you said they would probably do it for you if it's an extra cost. But again, I had never heard, even if I had never heard of anybody having a problem with a septic tank, and even if there was, you still can have the builder correct it for you. But again, remember, the builder don't want to come to your house. They want to move on to the next one.
Right.
Okay, they don't want to come to your house to be fixing your septic tank every 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're building everywhere. They don't have time to come back and fix make mistakes on purpose. So they have to come back and fix it.
And even, look, the best way to do it, if you have any doubt, come and do it and look at it yourself. Supervise it or hire somebody to make the videos and supervise it for you.
Absolutely.
And say, you know what, man, this needs to be, I don't know, half foot deeper.
Yes.
Because my client, that's what he wants, half foot deeper. But then again, I know it will be too much to ask. It will be crazy for you to come every day here or every week. But you have to have somebody in the ground. It's like me. I would never buy a house in, let's say, I don't know, New York, without never being in New York, and just like, okay, I trust you. No, I have to have somebody to be on my back, right?
Mm-hmm. You have an extra special chance of being ripped off in New York. So this what you're saying leads into the next question, and I think this is Carla. Girl, we're about to answer your question. Says, I won't be moving to Mexico for 3 years, and I see the prices going up. Should I buy a house now? How would I manage it if I bought now?
Carla, well, if that's her, you should buy the house in Mexico. You have bought it last week. Because the house in Mexico going up, I just told you that my house went up $80,000 in 2 years. Hers is like probably $10,000, $15,000 just in a month.
And I haven't even moved in yet.
You got to remember, the builder give you a good price when you buy in the house They call it pre-built
Mm-hmm.
because they already have the client. What they're doing is just rushing up, finish it, give you the keys, and then move to the next one. That doesn't mean he's going to sacrifice quality. That means that he's going to, instead of working 8 hours, he's going to be working 10 hours, right?
Or his team.
Or his team, he wants. But yeah, to buy, to answer your question is like buying a house ASAP. Merida is going to go up. And not just Merida, entire Mexico. You got to remember safety, friendliness, the ocean, the weather,
Great
the infrastructure,
affordable
healthcare. I mean, it has everything. We got everything we had in the United States. We have here Burger King, McDonald's, Domino's Pizza, Church Chicken, Carl Jr., Wendy's. We got everything. KFC.
Even Carl Jr.'s, folks.
We got Starbucks. Yeah. We got everything. Chili's. I mean, we got everything. So the only thing is that you're going to pay a fraction of the cost. Again, buying a house now, even if you don't want to live in it now, even if you want to buy it in 3 years, even in 3 years you change your mind and say, you know what, I decide to move to Kathmandu, okay, or wherever you're moving, okay, you still can sell this house and make a big chunk.
Or you can rent it.
Or you can rent it. And believe it or not, your house, just to say your house, if you rent it right now, will be easily 15,000 pesos. I'm talking about $800, $900. Easily right now. Okay? Remember, you live in Concal. Concal is a very desirable neighborhood. Why? I don't know, because of location, like you said.
Because I'm moving there.
But yeah, I mean, the house going up, Carla. If you're planning on buying, the only thing I can advise you, the sooner, the better. And remember, this is going harder. We got the Tren Maya coming up here too. The train is gonna improve greatly.
Yeah, when I went with his family to a trip to the shopping free zone in Belize. This Mayan train is going all the way through. I mean, we saw it all the way down to the border.
Yep.
Yeah.
And buying the house, if you can afford it, buy, whether you buy it for an investment. You can even buy it now and make up your mind later. If you want to live in it or you want to sell it, either way, you're going to have the upper hand. If you live in it, you're saving money, and if you sell it, you're making money.
Oh, yes. Okay, so where are we going on? Let me see. Now, I know you made a video with Cortez talking about this, but I want to remind folks again. When you buy a new build, what does the house come with, and what do you have to add yourself? Long list.
Whatever. Look, when you're buying a house in Merida, you're buying, like I told Cortez, you're buying, and hi Cortez, you watch this video. What you're buying is concrete and block, and light fixtures. That's it. And of course, toilets and sinks. But that's it. You're not buying nothing else. No air conditioner, no ceiling fan, nothing.
No boiler.
No boiler, nothing. Right? So, Mexico, the market is different. You know, in the United States, sometimes you buy the house, they come with appliances, even if it's a new house. They build it, throw it in. Mexico, that's not going to happen. You're lucky if they put a stove and leave it and say, okay, it's a present. But that's about it. Okay? If it's a new build, if it's a used house,
you might get it. You might
because some people say, like, look, some people say, okay, I live in it, so I already put cabinets and then put stuff. Some of the people buying houses just to, the one that you see, the one behind my house that I told you was like my house, there's nobody living there, and the house has been sold for like already like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
The guy comes there once in a while with a motorcycle.
Oh, so it's kind of like a flip.
Well, that's what he said when I asked the builder, because it's the same builder that built my house, and said, there's nobody there, what's going on? And he's like, well, it's a politician. And what he did was he bought the house, he'll hold it for a year or two, and then he's gonna sell it.
So he could say he owned the property in this particular area.
And then he's gonna sell it later on.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
But folks, it's not just in Mexico. You know, if you're buying or even renting in Germany, Italy, a few other countries, you don't get a kitchen. And I mean, you don't get a kitchen. Sink, cabinets, all that other stuff. So that's really not that unusual. Fortunately, there's sales twice a year. I think it's in June and November. And that's when, you know, I plan on buying my stuff. But you literally have to put in everything.
And like I said, look, you don't, when you buy the house, whatever your budget is, it depends how big the house is. For example, a 2 bedroom, 2 bath house, well, you have to set apart at least $20,000. At least. I'm gonna just, so you have an idea. In Mexico, you have to have solar panels. So the solar panels in my house was like almost $11,000. Just the solar panels. That's besides the house. That got nothing to do with what I pay for the house, right? So solar panels, pressurizer, which
For the
is
water.
the water, because here it comes with gravity. But if you want to really take a nice bath like waterfall, Niagara waterfalls, you need to have a pressurizer pumping that water.
Right.
So pressurizer, the boiler, I mean the cabinet, like I said, the panels, the beds, the kitchen, the stove, the refrigerator, the washer and dryer. So $20,000, and that's being very, very conservative.
Yes.
Not being picky now. Don't be like, wow, one day now it's LG that I can talk to, watch, and need watch before me. No, okay. You got. I mean, we talk about conservative.
Right.
Just make you do your math. $10,000 was my panels. So, and I'm telling you, save $20,000. But just so you have an idea, $10,000 was the panel, $11,000 was the panel, and $11,000 the cabinets.
Folks, he's got gorgeous hardwood cabinets, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's a reason for that. I could have done these cabinets, and when I mean cabinets, I mean closets.
Yeah.
All the
Kitchen cabinets,
carpentry,
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that we live in humidity zone. Okay, we're close to the beach. If you bet the pressed wood, it's gonna, you know how it gets big, swallow, and it's gonna bubble up, and in a year or two, or maybe 5 years, I will have to replace the whole thing because you cannot fix it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I'm gonna pay a little bit more, maybe double actually. But I'm gonna have real wood that if it is scratched or something happens, I just sand it, paint it, and I don't have to replace absolutely nothing. What I did was buy me the peace of mind by putting a little bit more, because if I would put less, I would be buying me a problem.
Right.
Okay.
That's well said. You're buying a problem if you go cheap the first time.
Exactly. That's why I always tell you, sis, Heather, when you move here, you or anybody, don't be afraid. You see, like, wow, it's a lot of money. It's like you've been born. You need to buy clothes, a crib, the car seat. Okay, so you need that investment, but you don't buy solar panels every day. This is one lifetime thing. That's it. That's done.
Yeah.
And the same with the cabinets. If you get it right, it's a one-time thing. You don't buy washer and dryers every day. You don't buy refrigerators every day. So it's gonna be a big expenses that you're gonna face, and you're gonna get scared. At least I did get scared when I moved, and I was seeing like so much money going away. But now you're gonna reach a point when you're said and done that you don't really have to spend that much. And in my bills right now, well, it double up. Now I'm paying my expenses monthly without groceries. Groceries, that's different. But just for the house, my expenses is $389. Let's say 400 plus 300, 700 pesos.
That's doubled up, he said. Yeah, and by the way, we're not going to get into it, but this man will argue over a peso if the bill is constant and then it bumps up a peso. So, but we're not going to get into that because we need to get through these questions.
But yeah, you know, Heather, but that's so for and what I mean is internet, which is, so you have an idea, guys. Internet is 389 pesos, which is $20 a month. And now that I said double up because I have my water thing, a whole system of water filter by a professional company. So that's another $20, so $40. $40 would be my monthly expenses.
Just to clarify, the system he's talking about, because you can't drink the water out of the tap, but with this system, he'll be paying $20 a month so he can drink the water out of the tap and not lug those bottles of water, and that way you can make ice and everything else.
Everything you can, because they're gonna have to see they install it for free and everything. Okay, it's like renting something. I mean, they come and put it, and they come every 6 months, and they clean the filter, and they change it, and they do whatever. The only thing I'm paying is 276 pesos, which is probably right now around $17. But that will guarantee me that if something happens, I got my water there, and like I was telling you, if the hurricane comes, and we cannot leave the house, and whatever happens, I'm chilling. Because
you have purified water coming out of his system.
As long as there is a cenote on the Yucatan, we're good.
And there will always be cenotes on the Yucatan unless we get another meteor.
And who knows, you might push more water in.
Okay, we're going to move on. I'm sorry. We're going to move on. Okay, let me see. We talked about that. To our solar panels, we just talked about, but you want to give them a little bit more of the steps?
Yeah, solar panel will be you call the company. Once you get your house, and so you can actually rent it, and if the owner allow it, he will, which I kind of doubt it, because you got to drill a hole. They got to be like a little platform on top so you can see the panel. It's a problem, like in the United States probably.
It
But
is.
yeah,
Exactly.
right? So you call them, they're gonna come, they're gonna go on the roof or whatever you're gonna have the solar panels, they're gonna look at the space, they're gonna take some pictures, and they're gonna leave. Within like 3 days, they're gonna send you a drawing. Okay, because first of all, I'm sorry, I think I went jump ahead. They're gonna come, unless you know how many panels you want, they're gonna come and look at your meter. They're gonna say, give me the number today. Come back tomorrow and give me the number again. And come and do it for 5 days. So they can get the average usage of you. Then they're gonna say, to cover that, we need 5 panels or 10 panels or whatever it is. Then you say, okay, I want 10 panels. Perfect. Which you can put 5, and then if it doesn't work, you can put 5 more.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you can add as many as you want. They're gonna come, they're gonna do the thing, they're gonna leave and send you a drawing and say, this is how your roof is gonna look. A 3D picture. Do you agree to it? Say, yes, I like the panel. No, I'm gonna move this panel here because I like the space. Whatever you wanna do. Personally, I say just do it. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go to a roof anyway, right? So they do it, and they pretty smart. They do it in a way that they allow you space for your ACs and everything. They've been doing that for a while.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Okay. So when you give them the green light, they say, okay, we're gonna install in, I don't know, May 11th. They come, a bunch of guys with the panels, but they're gonna build the whole thing up there, right? Put all the panels, and they're gonna install an inverter, the thing that boxes, where that is gonna tell you how much you monitor your thing. Then you're gonna wait because now it's gonna be the longest process. But okay, when you order the thing, you're gonna give, I think it's 30%. Or 30% and then 30% and then 40%.
Okay.
Something like that. So 30% or 40% when they install it, and then another part when you order it, and then another part where they don't install it, and then like a 10% or something. I can't remember the percentage, but when they actually flip the switch.
When do they put in the meter?
They don't put the meter. They see what they do is they go to and it's good that you touch a subject. I'm gonna tell you why. That's another thing that you want a tip for you guys when buying a house or renting a house. They're gonna go to CFE and they're gonna ask the CFE for the contract, and the CFE is the one that's gonna come and change their meter because that meter is the CFE. Now, guys, the CFE, not everybody can have panels. Okay, you have to have the capacity. The CFE have certain amount. Imagine if everybody put panels, CFE makes no money, right? So because I only pay like $3 every 2 months. I pay
Did you hear that? $3 a month.
No. $3 every 2 months because it comes bi-monthly. The bills here come every 2 months. So I pay 61 pesos. That's the last time I was complaining because I get a bill for 62 pesos, which is like, I don't know.
He's telling the truth.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
He called his wife who's in the state, he said it went up a peso.
Yeah, it went up a peso. Yeah, but you know what? Because I was concerned about, why it changed.
Why?
But look,
Yeah.
if you buy in a house, make sure that before you even buy, call the solar panel and say, because they're going to do the research in the computer. They're going to tell you right then and there if the CFE is allowing more panels. Now, you can order 1 panel, but after that you can add 20 panels. The CFE won't come and see how many panels. Oh, you only got for 5. They don't care. Because in Mexico, once you get the contract for the panels, you cannot update it for 15 years. So you add more panels, there is nothing they can do. I mean, it is what it is. The only thing you're saying is that you're telling them is you're going to buy what I produce. Okay? So the CFE get the money, see how much you spend, how much you give in electricity, do the thing, and they bill you for whatever extra usage you got.
Right.
In my case, I haven't get none yet, thanks God. Because if you produce more, I guess like in the United States, they put it like in a saving account with them, and then if you ever go extra, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure that whatever you're buying or whatever you're buying, you can have solar panels.
Right, because electricity is crazy expensive here, and you need air conditioning, right? So really consider adding the solar panels as part of your original budget. And it sounds like there are a lot of things you have to do, and there are, but in truth, you're setting yourself up for success, okay? Because like I said, I'm not moving in, I'm not turning on one switch until I have my solar panels. And I want to say, I went through this process in the States. It is almost exactly the same as this. It takes about 2.5 months because the city has to approve, the people, who sell you electricity have to approve all this
They're gonna
stuff.
come and change the meters, and they're gonna take that meter because all the meters that we have is unidirectional. So they're gonna put bi-directional, which come in and out, right? So they're gonna come and change the meter. When they approve the contract, they change the meter. But you don't have to do none of that.
Right.
You just sit tight.
Yeah,
the company
they take care
does
of
it for you.
That's right.
Say, Angel, it's been approved, everything is good. We're gonna flip the switch on May 25th. But after they approve it, the CFE, and they put the meter, it's just flipping a switch. That's all they're doing. They're gonna come up there and flip a switch, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. You don't have to worry about nothing. So basically, it's painless. Because you don't put the panels, the only thing you gotta do is just, okay, I want panels, and the next question is, I'm okay with the draft.
Oh, and pay for it.
And pay for it, of course.
But folks, you're not going to be surprised. He's got a guy.
Yeah, I got a guy that can give us a good discount.
Right. Okay, so the next question, I think we just talked about it, but I'm going to read it anyway to make sure I didn't miss anything, or we didn't miss anything. What are the steps to building a home with solar panels? We just talked about that. But first, purchasing the land and then placing a home on it, and he wants to do everything for $150.
Placing a home on it.
He wants to buy a piece of land.
Yes.
He wants to build a house.
Build the house.
He wants to put on solar panels, and he wants everything to be within 150K US, I would imagine.
That's doable, but then you know that your house won't be that big neither, right? So look, I would say for 150. Let's do a quick math, okay? It's for the sake of this question. Let's say you buy the cheap lot in this neighborhood. Let's say you buy in this neighborhood, like where we are right now. You're gonna pay a good, I don't know, $40,000. Okay.
It's a desirable neighborhood.
Just the lot.
Yes.
Again, you can live further out. You can live somewhere else. But the closer you go to the beach, the more expensive it's gonna be.
And the resources of Merida.
And exactly, because you buy Merida is expensive too. You're gonna have to buy like deep in the south, like way on the south, okay? And like I'm not saying the south is a bad part. It's just less desirable. Why? Because it's like it's a working class. We are more like middle class, high upper kind of like somewhere around there, okay? But yeah, it's not that it's bad neighborhood, but everything is cheaper for a reason. Okay, I mean, you either live in Manhattan or you live in the Bronx. There's different prices. Okay, kind of. So you have an idea. These prices. So for that, for 150, just let's take it into pesos. We're talking about 280. I mean, 2.8 million pesos.
Okay, and folks, write this down if this is your question, because he can't give you dollars because it changes. So write this down and jump into your currency converter so you know what the number means to you. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And let's keep it on dollars so they have a better idea, because a lot of them don't know about pesos or what the conversion will be at the time.
Just remember, it's going to change.
It's going to change.
Okay.
But dollar-wise, I would say for 100, okay, let's say to buy a house for, I don't know, 120. Something 2-bedroom, a nice house. It's just, it won't be the size of this. Okay? It won't be the size. Everything is the same in the United States. But for 150, expect to pay 40 for the land. So now we got, for 150, you got 110 left.
Don't forget the commission for the agent.
The commission for the agent is at 3%. Okay? But, the commission for the agent, you're going to also pay to build the house. To build it or whatever, I think you're gonna get like around 2-bedroom house. And the square size, I would say 250 square meter.
How much does that be? I'm not good with conversion.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much you've been feed.
Okay, so convert 250 square meters. Okay.
Yeah, but it won't be as big. Now, what you can do, you can buy that if that's what you can afford. And then build on top of it, and build another 2-bedroom on top if you want to.
Because you're not going to have it in the States. You have to find an alien before they'll let you build another floor. But it's a lot easier here.
Yeah, very easy. You don't really need much.
Right.
You can build anything. Especially, but you got to remember because we live in the outskirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you live in Merida, you cannot just start building in Merida.
That's right. We're in the country.
We are in the country. Still 10 minutes out, not too far,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
So in the country, things change.
Yes.
You got more freedom to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much do and let others do.
Right.
Right?
No HOA.
No HOA, that's very important. A lot of people like privadas. With the privadas are like HOAs, pretty much gated communities. Keep in mind of this. Some people like it and it's fine. Personally, I don't like it because the price you're buying a debt for life. Remember, if whatever you think, oh, I can afford $200, I can afford $200 now, but 10 years from now it might be $1,000. If the community decides to bump the prices up because they want to build a new park for kids and you got no kids, you pay for the park too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Tell them about the pool. What they want a privada.
You want a privada because a lot of people say I want a privada because it's safe, because safety, because they got guards. Man, you don't need guards. There is nothing here, nothing happening. I mean, nothing happening.
It's safe.
Okay, it is very safe to a point that you can walk 2, 3 in the morning, nobody, you won't have to worry about anything.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, you're gonna pay in a privada because the amenities. You got a nice pool. But most of the houses got pool in the backyard. And I don't see why, I mean, in my case, I will leave my pool to go to the community pool when I have my own pool that I can be there all day long. I don't get that part. Mm-hmm. Well, because I got kids park. For the price you pay in a month, you might as well just take your kids
to the
park with every community, every neighborhood got their own park.
They do.
So, but again, some people like it like that because, they're going to do the loan. Just so you have an idea, for somebody to come and mow your lawn and do your pool, it's around $20. And you do that maybe twice a month?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So $40.
Yeah.
And you do it when you want.
Yes.
So keep in mind that there is a privada. Don't go because, the privada portrayed it to be very nice, and they are very nice. But what they don't tell you is like, you have to go with the flow. You got to roll with the punches, and whatever it is, you got to be able to do it. And they can find you. Mm-hmm. They can do whatever. I mean,
just
you got
like
to
an HOA.
paint your house this color, and you got 3 colors to choose or 2 colors to choose. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind.
So let's go back. So if they're going to buy in an area like here, it's going to be about $40,000 for the land.
Yes.
And then you have to remember 3% of the. If you're buying a house, but if you buy land, do you have to pay 3% to an agent?
You pay the realtor, whatever it is.
Okay, yeah.
It is
so
what it is.
3% of that. 3% of the $40,000, and then you have
notary fees.
Notary fees, folks. Yes.
And fideicomiso fees.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to pay the fideicomiso fees. You're gonna have, which is the bank fees, the fideicomiso. You're gonna have to pay the notary fee. You're gonna have to pay the realtor who is helping you fees. And that you got 150,000. Remember, you only got 110 now because you paid 40. Mm-hmm. Out of that 110, take away 10 between bank fees and these fees and the other fees. Mm-hmm. Now you got 90. Okay, so you got 90,000 to build a house, but you got 10,000 in panels and 10,000 in cabinet. Let's say that just and washer and dryer or whatever, 20,000.
Appliances, everything.
You only got 80,000 left.
Yes.
Right. So now 80,000 is 1.6. That's not much. Besides the hassle now that you're gonna have somebody build the house for you, but that person gonna try to cut corners to try to accommodate it to $80,000.
Yes.
Because that's all he got. Mm-hmm. So he got to kind of like, don't use the best concrete.
Yeah.
Or don't use the best this, because if we do, we're gonna go over the budget and this guy only have 150. Now, it's doable, yes. My advice to you, buy a house as it's been built.
Yes, folks, it's a good idea because that's what I'm doing. The house is there, the builder's still putting the finishing touches, and with 150, I'm getting everything I want.
Exactly, and then you can modify later on.
Mm-hmm.
You want to add an extra bedroom, like in your house, you want to have an extra bedroom in the front, a huge master, you can build it. Whatever you want to do,
exactly,
you can do it later on. Mm-hmm. But to buy, look, I would say you're gonna buy the land and you're gonna build the house. You have to have at least to have a nice, decent size house, at least $200,000.
Yes, yes.
And that is being, like I said, not too crazy about it.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And if you buy the land, you also have to worry about making sure all the infrastructure is there. Because it's jungle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that the city allowed to. Again, when you buy the land, you're taking so many risks. Buying, like I said, fondo legal, ejidos, all these situations. The best, you might say, well, it's cheaper to build and buy. I don't know. Because if it doesn't have electricity, now you got to pay CFE to run who knows how many kilometers to get that pole into front of your land.
These are things to consider because you're starting from scratch, literally starting from scratch.
And then if you buy the cheaper you go on the land, the further out you're gonna be. But it's gonna cost you more because now whoever is digging for your well, you're gonna have to bring the equipment from Merida to wherever you are, and that's gonna cost you, right? So I would say my advice, you're gonna do it, increase a little bit more in the budget. But if you go for 150, I guarantee you can get a very nice, decent house.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I want to move into the car, and we have a few other questions about bank accounts and so on like that. Okay, we've answered this question. So let's move into the car buying.
Sounds good.
Expert again. Expert again. Okay, so if I have my car shipped to Merida, how long can I drive with my U.S. tags? That's part one, and I'll say the rest after.
Okay. Merida being close to Progreso, we are considered a port of entry. Makes everything way easier.
The point of entry, why does it make it easier?
Because that's where you renew your tax to get another permit for another 6 months. So when you are home, you don't even need to go to the embassy or to the consulate. Just go online, say you want to import your car temporarily to Mexico, and you're gonna pay 200 pesos or 400 pesos dollars, depending on the year. But you can print it right there at home. Right there, you can print it, the paper, once you pay with your card. That paper, when you cross the border, you go to the aduana, custom, and then the Mexican side, show them that, and you're good to go.
Okay.
They're gonna give you a tag for your window, and you got 6 months to drive with you legally, with your tags, with the American plates here, or foreign plates. Now, when the 6 months expire, you're supposed to take this car out of the country.
That's the thing, folks. You have to take it out of the country.
But you don't really go out of the country. What you do is what they want to see is they want to see you car at the border. Okay, I want to renew it. Okay, so they see the car, the Mexican. You don't even have to go to the United States. They see the car. Okay, another permit. You pay for another 6 months. Since we are in Merida, close to Progreso is considered a port of entry because that's where the cruises and everybody come in. So it's a port of entry. You just go there instead of going all the way to the border north. Go there, renew your permit because you're taking you're taking your car to the port of entry like the law asks. That's it.
Oh, so I didn't know that. That's really good information. Now, someone told me that you can bring a car from the U.S. as long as you're a temporary resident. If you're a permanent resident, you have to take the car out of the country permanently or sell it to someone.
No.
So explain that to me.
To bring a car in Mexico as a temp or as a tourist, you can do it temporarily.
Okay.
Now, if you are a permanent, it's a whole different story.
And more expensive.
You can bring it, but you got to legalize it. Now you got to make the car will have double citizenship. Okay, I mean,
Yes.
It will be Mexican plate.
Yes.
Okay, because when you go to the border, it's an easy process. I got a contact for that too. Okay, I got a good contact.
He does, yes.
Like they take your car, they take it to custom inspect it, meet the requirement, blah blah, and they give you the paper, and they give you back your car, and you cross with that paper. Now, when you go to customs, it's gonna give you a paper say where you're gonna register the car. In Yucatan, perfect. Then you drive it here to Yucatan. And when you get here, you go to the DMV. Good luck, and register the car. I mean, you can do it, but it's online. It's a heck of a process, but you can do it. It's doable. You just got to take. It's just gonna take. I would say like a week between doing lines and talking to people and trying to communicate. Even if you hire somebody to do it for you, it's a whole process because they were not too long ago. I think they start allowing other people to do it again. But again, you got to go to notary, get a letter, pay the notary, pay for the letter. I mean, it's just a whole process. you can legalize the car. You can do it. You can do it yourself, but just know that it's time consuming. And at least to bring a car from anywhere, it got to be made in the United States or Canada. It cannot be made in Japan.
Is there an age limit?
Yeah, I think it's like 10 years or older. You cannot bring a brand new car.
You can't bring a brand new car. It has to be older than 10
Temporarily,
years.
yes.
Wow.
Temporarily,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna go to Mexico on vacation. I'm taking my brand new Jeep.
No, but if you're going to legalize a car here,
no new car. And I think it's actually 4 years now. But you can really find that it's like, you can even Google. It's like 4 years because every year they change it. Like sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's 4 years. I don't know. I haven't imported cars, so I don't know lately. But I know that you can import the car. The best way to do it, honestly, because it's gonna cost you at least, depends on the car, but it's gonna cost you at least $4,000 to import the car legally.
And do you have to pay taxes if you import it legally?
Of course, you got to pay custom, and you got to pay taxes here. I mean, it's a Mexican car. You're gonna have to renew the plates and do the whole thing.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. So my advice to you would be, if you're gonna import it completely, I mean, then you're gonna have to go through the process. It's gonna cost you. Be ready to spend at least $4,000, roughly between $2,500 to $4,000.
Yes.
Depends on the car, the model, the year. And then you can have, go to the border. They got a customer. Actually, you cannot even go yourself to do it. You have to go through one of the agencies, private agencies. That's what they do importations. You cannot just go there and say, I want to import my car. You have to hire one of those guys to do it for you. Okay?
So to bring it to a short story, if you had to choose between bringing a car, making it legal here, and buying here, what would you recommend?
Buying here,
yeah.
Buying here because, look, you have a very nice car.
I do.
And if you're gonna bring that car, you're gonna buy the car in the United States. Pretty much the same price, and then you're gonna have to pay another $4,000 to bring it in, plus the gas to get here, plus the hotel and all your expenses on the way, and on top of that, you're gonna have to deal with the Yucatan licensing plates.
Yes.
It's just a whole kind of one.
Yes.
That's why you don't see the people that do that are people that bring very old cars, like beat up cars that they kind of sell it here or whatever. But to me, unless you got it paid off and you are willing to, like, okay, I don't want to let it go, I want to take it, then you're gonna have to pay, like, okay, to buy a car like this is gonna cost me let's say $20,000. But I'm gonna pay $4,000 and take mine. Then you pay $4,000 and you bring yours.
Yeah.
But that's the only way it makes sense. But if you ask me, I would rather to just buy the car here.
Right. And it reminds me, if you still owe money on your car in the States, you have to get permission from the bank that owns your car to bring it into Mexico.
But you won't be able to import it permanently either.
Yeah.
You cannot bring. You got to be temporary. You're gonna come on a visit.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, I still got to pay the car, but I'm gonna move it to Mexico and having a dual citizenship.
Right.
No, it won't happen.
Right.
Okay, so you got to be paid off.
Okay. So the second part of that question was, I don't mind switching to Mexico. We talked about that, making the car legal and what it requires to make the car legal. It's a complicated process.
Yeah, just look
expensive.
It's only like $200 every 6 months. And I mean, I know it's a lot of money, but either that or you're gonna pay. Let's do quick math. Okay. And I don't want to take that long, but look, 200 pesos for $200 per year. Okay, 10 years is $2,000, right? $2,000.
Yeah.
Roughly $2,800, if I'm not mistaken. Well, something like that, I say $2,000. That's what you're gonna pay just to bring the car here for 10 years, for the rest of your life. But that car in 10 years might not even be worth $10,000 anymore. So now, I mean, you might as well just get a permit, and when you're done, you can just drive it back, whatever you want to do with it. Because you will be paying, they did it in a way that you will be paying the same.
And folks, remember, as everything else, it changes from time to time. But I know that you can Google this because I Googled it when I was considering what to do with my car because I loved my old car. But after looking at the fees and the inconvenience and so on, I decided that I would buy here, and I absolutely decided that I would buy from a dealership so I can get the inspection and the warranty. So that's something you need to consider and decide what works best for you. But if you have questions, Angel is, and I'm not kidding you, this is part of his expertise, and he has a network that can help do what you need to do.
Very important, and very important what you're saying is like, you got to remember, you're buying for a private seller. The private seller, this is not like, there is no lemon law here. So you get what you get.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot blame whoever is helping you or whoever you're hiring to do it. He's not a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's just, you're hiring him to do a job, looking for it and get it for you at a good price and negotiating and everything, and even inspect it. But if you're buying for the private seller, you're gonna have to hire a mechanic. That's what I would recommend. Hire a mechanic, which I have a contact for the mechanic, because I take people with the mechanic and they go, but the mechanic cannot guarantee you. You can buy a new car and be blow engine tomorrow. The mechanic is gonna say, the probability of this car breaking down is 10%. But that 10% can happen tomorrow. Exactly. So nobody can guarantee anything. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to hold that person, whoever it is, liable. Mm-hmm. Well, you sold me this car. No, I didn't sell you the car. The car wasn't mine to begin with. Mm-hmm. So our advice, go with the dealership. Mm-hmm. Pay more, but you have the warranty, the peace of mind that whatever happens is taken care of.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to driver's licenses. When do I need to get a Mexican driver's license?
Well, by law, you're like in the United States. By law, you're supposed to get a license for the place for whatever the place you live at, right? So if you live in Kentucky, you get a license from Kentucky. When you get to New York, you get a license from New York. The trick is how. I mean, how are they gonna approve where you live? You can live 6 months and 1 day in the United States and the other 5 months and 30 days in Merida, right? So you don't really, I mean, you're supposed to get it. You can drive with the American license. You don't really need to get any license. The only thing, when the police pull you over, I'm on vacation. Even if you live here. I live more than 6 months in the United States. They don't care. They don't know. I've been pulled over here once in 3 years. Police here don't, it's not like in the United States, like they hide behind the bushes to see when you speed off the road.
I haven't seen one speed trap.
No, they don't do it here. I've been here 3 years, and you know I drive like a maniac. I drive like crazy. I speed. Police are worried about other things, which I find very interesting and it's good for them that they worry about things that matters. Not about somebody trying to go 5 miles, 10 miles per hour and go hide in the bush with the camera and waiting for you to mess up, right? Mm-hmm. Police they don't make money like that. Counties here don't make money doing that. Okay, they make money, but they don't live off that. Mm-hmm. So they don't really focus on that. To drive with an American license, you can do here for the rest of your life. Okay, it doesn't matter which, because even if you now to buy the car, the thing is to buy the car you need to have a green card. Well, a residence card.
Residence card.
You need to, why? Because you need to register the car.
Yeah, and folks, they ask me everything that I do. They want to see my residency card and my passport. It's you have to have that. Term or perm, it really doesn't matter. They want to see it.
Exactly. When you buy the car, the same. Mm-hmm. Okay, there is no, but again, back to your questions, you can drive with as long as you want. It doesn't matter. If it's a Mexican car, or because you could be on vacation, like you can be using my car.
Yeah. So this is closely related, and I think you covered it, but let's see if you want to say anything more about this. How do you buy a car in Mexico, and can I get a loan?
A loan? You could probably get a loan, but the problem is you don't have a credit history.
Yeah.
It's just like, nobody, banks won't lend money for cars, okay? There's lenders that just, the specialists, they lend you money for cars.
At a very expensive
rate.
At
a very expensive rate, and you're gonna end up paying more than what the car is worth. Let alone, that you got to remember, they know that you can park the car in the mall and go back to the United States, or to Canada, or to Spain, or from wherever you're from. They know that. So you're becoming already a high risk.
A flight risk, right? Right.
So, hey, how about if I lend this person $20,000 and tomorrow they got tired of it, and they just like, boom, fly to the country? Mm-hmm. How can I collect? So it's almost impossible to get a loan. The same with the house. It's a cash economy.
Mm-hmm.
There is money. There is budget for card for every budget.
Yes.
But don't count on a loan. There will be no loans.
Okay, here's the one that I'm dealing with right now. Do I need to get a Mexican bank account, and is it safe?
I will let you talk about that.
Whoa, folks. So it is quite doable to get a Mexican bank account. Each bank has slightly different requirements. Some of them want you to be a permanent resident. Some banks you can do it as a term resident. And I think there's one bank out there you can do it as a tourist. But
Intercam.
Right. So the thing for me is that I have an apartment where all utilities are included. So everything is under my landlady's name. And so they require a bill with my name on it. So that's going to be my cell bill because, you know, just about everybody needs cell service. So they move kind of slowly in putting it on paper. So even though I'm getting ready to pay my third bill, I don't have a piece of paper saying history of my account. We're hoping that in about 20 days, I will have my first piece of paper and it will have my name, my actual address, and then as soon as I get that, the lady's like, fax it to me, or excuse me, take a picture and email it or WhatsApp it to me. They're not there to get in your way. They just have guidelines that they have to follow. So it's not hard to do it. You just need proof of your address with a bill with your name on it. Is that fair?
Proof of address is very important. It's actually very, very highly important.
Yeah. And on a side note, I was going to, like in the States, you show your lease with your name and your address, right? I live there. But the contract that I signed with a notary isn't really considered a contract. So don't count on the fact that you can use your rental contract to satisfy this requirement of your name and your address on a bill. They love cell bills because that seems to cover everything. So if you're buying, make sure you give yourself enough time. I recommend about 2.5 months. So you can actually get a piece of paper that meets the requirements. Is that fair?
Exactly, that's very fair. Also, just so you guys remember, your bank account, you will have access to your bank account as long as your green card is current. Okay, so which means is if you have, I don't know, $10,000, okay, in your bank account here in Mexico, let's say 100,000 pesos, let's say $10,000. When when your resident card expires, you won't have access anymore to your account. Your money is still there. The account does exist, but it's frozen. Okay, so you got two choices. Empty that account before your card expires, and then fill it back up, whatever, when you get your new green card, because during that time, the system is going to show that you don't have a green card.
Yeah, don't let it expire.
Don't let it expire, because there is other penalties. I don't know if, they're involved with that.
Yeah. There is a third choice, actually. I think that you need the account because people do business this way. They trade from account to account very comfortably. Only keep in the account what you need for your bills and to pay whatever you have to pay. Don't keep a huge amount unless you are a citizen and you're here and this is it. Keep enough to do your business, but find a transfer company like Schwab or Weiss, and every now and then when the dollar is strong, transfer some money into it. That way, because people are always afraid, oh, it's not safe. Folks, there have been crashes in the U.S.
But it is safe. You know, I was telling a friend of mine the other day that, to be honest, I think the banking system in Mexico, believe it or not, is more sophisticated than the United States. Really? By a lot. Mm-hmm. By a lot. And I still got United States bank accounts. But I have to go through like 3 steps in order for me just to open my app. Face recognition. Fingerprints recognition, password,
double verification,
claves. I mean, it's just like my wife told me, like, hey, I never opened a bank account here because it's just you got to spend like 5 minutes entering codes for you to open the bank account. I mean, not but for you to open the app, the application.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you can say how much was my dinner, $5, and you can go in the app and transfer the money, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only seen that I only seen this here, that you can actually say how much is going from your account and be in your account within seconds.
Yeah, and folks, you know, a lot of people still have these visions of Mexico as being a third world country. I want to point out to you that Mexico City has the highest percentage per capita of millionaires. There are people here with 2 and 3 mansions. There are wealthy people here.
You know, one thing I want to, now that you mentioned that, Heather, have you seen a homeless person in Merida?
I have not. I see a lot of dogs and they're being fed by everybody.
You don't see homeless people here.
No,
You don't see tents cities like we have in some our cities, sadly, tents. Cities of people living in the States. Mm-hmm. In Merida, I never seen a homeless. Yeah, you see one guy drunk in a corner, like, you know, maybe cleaning a window, your mirror. Mm-hmm. But that's it, your windshield, but that's it. You don't
By the
really.
way, the drunks here, they will clean your mirror, and unlike the States, excuse me, your windshield, and unlike the States, it's clean when they're done, not dirtier.
And very, very polite too. Very polite
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Very polite. Even though
Absolutely.
they asking for money, and it's not like too often either. But when they do, it's very polite. You kind of feel to giving them something just so because the way they talk.
Yes,
They're so polite
yes.
and so respectful, and and if you say no, they take it and they
Okay.
just leave you alone.
So here's the next question. I think I wrote a response to this person, but I want to make sure I got it right. He said, "My credit in the U.S. isn't great. I just suffered an incident.
Yeah.
How would I go about getting an apartment in Mexico with a low credit score?"
It doesn't matter. Your credit in the United States got nothing to do with Mexico.
And that's what I
Look,
told
there
him.
is no way Mexico is gonna check your credit in United States.
Yeah.
Look, they can check your Mexican credit, okay? But that's it. And they don't cross the border. The credit don't cross the border.
Exactly.
So whatever you have going on in the United States, stay in the United States.
Yeah.
So when you move here, you are like a brand new, just a newborn baby.
Exactly.
There is no credit history. I don't care if you file bankruptcy 7 times. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You come here and get in an apartment, nobody will check your credit.
They might ask for first and last and maybe a deposit, and that's it. So, folks, I know in the States, when I've rented apartments, especially in the DC, Northern Virginia part, they would say, okay, this apartment costs $2,000 a month. You have to make 3 or 4 times as much in order to just rent this apartment. They do that, and then they check your credit score.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If you're not bringing in a lot of money, or if you're retired, sometimes it's really hard to get an apartment in the States.
yeah, but here they call it aval, which means like, okay, if you have somebody that owns a house and live in Merida, they can be your aval, which means your co-signer per se, okay?
For an
They call it
apartment?
aval. But that is if you have an aval, then you pay only like the first month and the deposit. That's it.
And
Now, if you
that's-
don't have an aval, you pay first month, last month, and your deposit.
Right, and it depends on area, because I know that I explored San Miguel de Allende, and they didn't have that there, but they have it here. But when I got my apartment, I paid the notary fees and a deposit, and that was it. That was it.
And you're lucky, and you are lucky because that's what you pay. But the norm here would be the norm in Merida, and I'm not saying it's just a must. I would say it's like common that people that don't have anybody don't have any referrals. Like when I mean like any people they can contact the landlord and find out about you. You have to pay first month, last month, and the deposit. Now you have an aval, which is like a cosigner. It's not a cosigner. It's like somebody saying, "Hey, I know Heather. She's a good person. I know her for that many years, and I'm a standard citizen. I own a house." And they see that you vouching for her, then you pay deposit in last month.
Yeah.
In your case, you're lucky because they could have said, "Okay, give me the deposit in the first month."
Yes, right. Which is the same in the US. Even after you jump all those hurdles, they still ask for some last month. Okay, so if you have bad credit in the US, it's not going to stop you, because this person, when they put in the question, and I didn't put it in there, they have money. They have a strong monthly retirement income, so you will find a place. Don't
Look,
worry about it.
That person that plays the question, don't worry about credit.
No.
The only thing they care is that you pay your rent on time.
Exactly.
That's it. There will be now there is rent for $500, there is rent for $300, and there is rent for 20,000 pesos. You know what I mean? Which is like $1,000, and there is rent for every budget.
There is.
Okay.
Absolutely is.
So just be ready to, in a good neighborhood, a good 15,000 pesos,
Yeah.
which is what, $800.
Yeah. And so I'm going to give a shout out to Cortez right now.
Yes, please.
Folks, if you want to rent an apartment, Cortez Ross at Move
He's
Abroad
the
and
best.
Thrive, he's got a network. If you want an apartment, come do a scouting trip with him, and then let him help you find your apartment.
He's very good. Cortez is very good at that.
He
The
is.
man is. If he cannot get you an apartment, I will be very. I doubt that somebody would be able to help you.
If you don't get an apartment, it will be because of something you refuse to do. You'll get an apartment with Cortez. Okay, so we've got 2 more questions. Yeah, 2 more questions, these 2. Free health care and medications in Mexico. How do I get it?
Okay. Free, right?
Free.
I just say, well, we got hospitals in Mexico that are free. Okay, that is state-run hospitals. And they completely free. When I mean completely free, I mean completely free. From you walk in there and you walk out with a bag of medication at $0 cost. You don't pay a dime. And we have private hospitals that you pay a little bit of money, which is not much compared to the United States.
Because I use the private ones, and an appointment with the specialist anywhere from $48 to $58.
But see, you got to remember, I would say 99% of the pharmacies in Mexico, there is a doctor right next to it. Okay, right next to it, and you can see a doctor. You want to go to a private doctor in a pharmacy, it's going to cost you around $7. Okay, I mean, and you'll be seeing, it's going to be the same thing that you go to the hospital. It's just this doctor got their own clinic next to a pharmacy. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I would say 99% of it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, you know what? There is a long line. Sometimes in the hospitals, public hospitals, it's free, right? It's a way to overpass that. Go to a pharmacy, which they open 24 hours, see the doctor, he give you a referral, go to the hospital, and you jump the line. Why? Because you got the referral. This line is just to be seen by a doctor. You already be seen by a doctor. Now you're going to go straight. You don't have to make the line to be seen in a doctor to tell you what you have. This doctor already tell you, hey, he needs to be taking care of his heart. Go see, and you're going to go straight to where you got to go. Mm-hmm. So that's the easiest way to get it. Okay, number one, you can go straight to the hospital. It's going to be a little time consuming, but you still get it for free to the state-run hospitals. Or pay $7, be seen by a doctor, and then you're going to go to the hospital only if it's an emergency. If the doctor here says, like, you know what? You are in an emergency. And if you do, the doctor in the pharmacy will call the ambulance and take you to the hospital where you're going to be seen. Healthcare in Mexico is very, very, very affordable.
And very good.
And very good.
Yes. When he says free and these hospitals, yeah, there might be a line. I'm sure some doctors are better than others, but we're not talking like low-level medical care here. We're talking people who know their specialties and can take care of you, because, you know, that's my area. Taking care, finding the health care you need when you move abroad. So don't worry about that.
No, healthcare, yeah, it's cheap. If you have to pay anything, it's cheap. And if you want it for free, you still can get it for free. Mm-hmm. It will be, you know, you won't have to file for bankruptcy after seeing a doctor for a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Like it happens sadly in a lot of our countries. Mm-hmm. Okay, you go to a doctor, you end up, if you don't die from the illness, you die from the heart attack you're gonna get when you get the bill.
And by the way, you roll into an emergency room and you're bleeding, and the first thing they say, and who's your insurer?
Exactly. Here it doesn't happen. Okay, mm-hmm. It doesn't happen. You don't have. There is right now Tabrisa, which is one of our malls. They call it the high specialty hospital. That's how it's mm-hmm. called. They have top notch. And when I mean high specialty, that's the name of the hospital, but they really honor the name.
Yes.
I think it's a fourth better hospital in Mexico, the fourth best hospital in the entire country. Because you got everything from the heart, so they can transplant a nail if they have to. These guys are the best.
Yes.
And this is $0. You don't pay a dime, and you walk out of there with your medication.
Yes. And follow-ups and everything else.
Exactly. They call you and follow up. But again, if you don't want to have to go, personally, the way I do, I don't really go there. But I have to. I just go to my $7 pharmacy doc. I mean, how many times do you go a month? I just go there.
Yeah.
And in my case, I'm diabetic. For those that are diabetic, mm-hmm. You know, we have a lot of people with diabetes. I'm a diabetic, no insulin, but I take metformin. 40 pills, okay, a pack of 40 pills. It cost me $3. 40 pills. Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got over a month of medication for $3.
Yeah. Folks, you'll find it here. You will get your care. Don't worry about that. And if you have something that's a little complicated, often the doctors will get together and they will work out a plan for you. You will get the care you need. You really will. So that it should be on your priority list of being able to find it. But for Merida, you can check it off because it's here. And it's affordable for everyone.
Sure,
okay,
sure.
So the very last question, it's a question from me, folks.
Let me see what you have in store for me.
I put in, what are some of your favorite places to visit in Mexico? Because I'm trying to make my road trip list.
Yeah, well.
Although I'm going to go with them when they do road trips.
You're part of the family already. Look, Mexico has a lot to offer. It's a lot to offer. Oh, let me touch one little thing before we move to
Oh,
to
of
that
course,
question.
yeah.
For those who have kids, do not worry about them. So I moved here with my daughter. She was 14. They have a kids clubs here. It's like I don't even know. I think like 40 or 50 of them that I know of. And they go do activities and they do. I mean, they have a bunch of new. They have a new meaning of socializing without the worrying that we have in other places.
Yes.
You can put the kid in this club. It's not like they're gonna be there like all day or nothing. It's just they have activities pretty much every Sunday, every 2-3 days they have an activity. They meet up at the mall. They do a carpentry. They bring carpenters to show them how to do chairs and have painting classes and cooking classes and dancing classes and you name it, they have it.
Yes.
Okay, and they meet at the library on Fridays, every Friday, and they go to different malls, ice skating. So if you're afraid, like, well, how my kid is gonna adjust it? I say 99% of these kids speak English. But even then, my daughter is speaking Spanish like there is not tomorrow. She's speaking Spanish. Why? Because you get kids that are born here also, that are part of that club.
And she learns.
And she learns.
Right.
So don't be afraid of bringing your kids and how they're gonna adapt. That was one of my worries when I moved. And now I'm surprised how much her social skills. She's always been sociable, but I mean very social, very mature. Her Spanish is well, you have met her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
And so don't be afraid of bringing your kids.
Yeah.
They will have more fun than you do.
And freedom, because it's so safe here. I was in the mall yesterday and I hear, hey, that looks like a Heather haircut. It was your daughter waving at me because she had gone to meet with her friends. And because it's safe, you don't have to worry about your beautiful young daughter being out there because they're safe.
I don't go with her. I just let her go and have fun and and just keep an eye on it like I would do in anywhere, like I would do in any country, but like nothing happened in Merida. Just keep this in mind. Nothing happens in Merida. Nothing bad.
Fun happens. Fun happens. Definitely does happen.
And one other thing that I want to touch is the dating people that are younger that want to be dating, and they have expats meetups here. Okay, you have a lot of like younger people. I mean,
wait a
my
minute,
age.
Wait, hold on. Young people.
Younger than me. That's what I meant.
I'm older than you, and I'm folks.
But you know what? I mean, you're not including us too.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I can say that. But yeah, you have clubs. But people. When I mean club, I don't mean like a discotheque. Mm-hmm. I mean like they got like a cafe that they go and meet up and mingle and drink a glass of wine and they socialize. So dating is not an issue neither. I have friends that are dating, and they met people and they go to this club and you meet. Even if you don't date, and you meet a lot of new friends. They're just like you, that they move here. Some of them have been here for a while. Some of them are even born here.
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't be an issue too. Even if you are in a dating age, which could be up to 90 years old, I say, or 100, I don't know, whatever.
Thank you for including me.
But if you are like interested in dating, let me put it like that. Interested in dating, that shouldn't be an issue in Merida. And it's safe, like I said. Safe to a point, like she said, I leave my daughter at 16 years old, go wherever, and I don't have any worries about it.
Exactly.
Now, about the fun places you like to go in Merida, that I like to go.
In Mexico, just not Merida,
in Mexico. In Mexico. Mm-hmm. Yucatan has so much to offer. And when I mean not just Yucatan, the Yucatan state, which has a lot, but Yucatan as a whole peninsula, right? You got to remember, it's Xcaret. You can look it up. It's Xcaret parks. It's Xcaret. They got like 10 different parks. People come from all over the world, just like Disneyland. That's the Mexican Disneyland. Okay, and there is in Quintana Roo, the next state, 4 hours away. Right? You got Campeche. You got the pyramids. You got the cenotes. Just close to us, we got close to 10 beaches. We have Choborná, we got Chelén, Telchac, Progreso, Guaymitún, you name it. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of places that we can go and enjoy the ocean. But me, as myself, I like pretty much everything. I can be Indiana Jones one day exploring the pyramid. I put my Indiana Jones hat and explore the pyramid, and then tomorrow I might just be believing that I'm Christopher Columbus discovering America by the ocean and looking at the land. Or maybe next day I'm in my barbecue by my pool. So I'm open to every enjoyment. I mean, it's just peace. And when you get settled, you reach that point that you are like, my biggest worry is like, I'm gonna be Indiana Jones, or I'm gonna just go to the sea and pretend that I'm discovering the new land. But yeah, but that said, I think that, to be honest, to say what favorite places, Progreso is one of them. I like Progreso.
Yes.
I like Progreso.
And he is a water baby. It could be windy. Everyone else is thinking about putting on a sweater. Angel's like, I'm going to the water. And I'm serious. He's going to the water. You can't keep him out of the water.
But yeah, the beach is one of my favorite places I would go to. But again, Mexico has so much to offer. We have waterfalls. And well, you see, we drove to Campeche. They got mountains in Campeche.
Yes, not too far away.
No, right there. And we had a very nice lunch. Well, brunch or whatever it was, almost nighttime.
It was delicious. And so affordable.
It's so affordable. So you know what? If you ask me, Angel, let's go to your favorite place, you can pick for me because that would be my favorite.
Angel knows how to have fun or find fun wherever he is. Let's just put it that way. And by the way, he's an awesome cook. If you come here, make sure you ask him to make you some paella. Just look really pitiful. I can do it really well. And he'll make you paella. Well, okay, so folks, that brings us to the end of our list. I have no idea how long it was, but we got to all your questions. Angel, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And so, before we go, Angel does consulting. He is expert in helping you buy a house, in buying a car, getting you help through his extensive network. But let's ask Angel. Angel, how is it best to hire you or get in touch with you?
They can contact you. They can contact her. And the reason I don't say contact me directly because most of the time I don't even answer the phone, to be honest, folks. I'm in the pool. You don't take the water to the phone to the pool. That's true.
It's true.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm in the ocean or I'm in top of the pyramid and the phone is in the car. So
it's true.
I don't want you guys to be calling and say like, well, he never answered, and that would probably be the case.
Right. So folks, drop me an email. I will put it in the description of this video. And it's hspilgrim@icreatemypath.com, but I'll put it in there so you don't have to write that down. And that actually brings us to the end of our chat tonight.
Yep.
And we didn't stump Angel.
No, well, you tried, but you have some tricky questions that I was like, well.
Right. And guess what? I get to have paella as soon as I hit stop.
Yep, I made some nice paella. I'm going to show you how to make paellas.
I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to ask you to make it. Have a good night, folks.
Night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.